I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So this is the Gateway Board of School Directors regular board meeting. It's Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. I have a roll call, please, Ms. Isha.
Mr. Bova.
Here.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Here.
Mrs. Delaney.
Here.
Mrs. McBride.
Here.
Ms. Mungo.
Here.
Mr. Ritter.
Here.
Dr. Singh.
Here.
Mrs. Warning.
Here.
And Mr. Williams, is he on
He
Zoom?
is signed off.
Okay, thank you very much.
So we had an executive session at 5:30 to discuss personnel. And it's not on the agenda, but we have a number of Gateway softball players here who would like to speak on behalf of their coach. So I want to explain something. This is a personnel matter, and legally we can't really discuss it at all from our perspective. But I know that you folks would like to tell a bit of your story. So we're going to do that first, and you don't have to listen to what will be an extraordinarily tedious meeting. You're very unhappy. But I'm just going to ask you, try to be brief yourself, because we have lots of stuff going on tonight. And again, we can't respond in any way. We're just not allowed to. So whoever would like,
One person representing.
if you have one who can represent, fine. If everyone wants to say something, we're welcoming that too. But you know, whoever wants to get up, tell us who you are, and tell us what's on your mind. And by the way, you're among friends. You can't say anything wrong. You can't. No
Can they stand together and one of them talk?
That's fine. They can, however they'd like to do, whatever works. Absolutely.
Who's the leader? Who's the captain?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's just good. All right, no one's gonna, I'll start. And I will keep this extremely brief as a parent and totally was not expecting to do
Just tell us
this.
who you are,
But
what we need.
my name is Jen Kavanaugh. My daughter Aubrey Kavanaugh plays on the team. We wanted to come here tonight in support of Mr. Williams, who has been really an integral part of this development, this team. He's their coach. And I think it's really hard to develop a rapport with children at this age. And he has done a successful job at doing that in a loving yet professional way. And I know my daughter was not going to come back to play softball this year. Mr. Williams did encourage her. He was, very, he was talking about the positive, ways she developed in softball last year, the skills, how far she's came, really encouraged her to come back, and she did do that. They're a part of this team. These girls feel very passionate about playing for Mr. Williams. He keeps them together, he keeps them in check, and he's done so in a very respectful manner. From a parental standpoint, my 2 cents, and again, I would love to let the kids say anything, but in today's world, he shows up for these kids, and not everyone shows up for the kids. I mean, there are some parents that don't show up. So I have the utmost respect for him. I know my daughter does. That's why it was important for us to be here tonight. And I hope that, whatever decision is made, I hope that you guys can know how much he means to these girls. So if anybody would like to say anything. I'm sorry, and we'll keep it brief. She's my daughter.
You're doing fine. No worries. No worries.
I agree with what my mom said about how great he has been with all of us in a team way. And he's really helped all of us, again, teamwork and everything. He's been very encouraging and positive. And like my mom said, I wasn't going to come back this year, but I really loved him as a coach. He was great. He's a good personality, funny guy. He's honestly a great. I'm really nervous. He's a really great person and coach. And like she said, whatever decision comes down to it, he means a lot to us as one team. And I don't know what else to say. I'm really nervous.
No, you're doing great.
You did wonderful. Thank you.
I'm Patty Brennan, my daughter Alex. Sorry, I'm just a little choked up. So I don't know if you know our record, but we don't have a winning record. But Coach Dave, it just keeps them upbeat the whole game, constantly encouraging, and just it's very nice to see. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you. And by the way, just to be clear, no one is like out to get your coach. Seriously, this is something happened, and we're like forced to respond to it by the rules that are established for the board and the administration. Nobody woke up and said, anything about Coach Dave. So no one wants anything bad to happen. We want this resolved quickly and for everyone's best interests, starting with you guys, starting with you students, with you athletes. So seriously, no one has a vendetta, no one has anything. We didn't know about this until just briefly a short time ago. We're going to follow the rules in terms of dealing with it, and we will take all of this into account. But, no one doubts anything you're saying. No one has any desire for anything bad to happen, either for you players or for Coach Dave. I promise.
I'm just going to say. He was done.
Does anyone else want to speak before Ms. Warren does? That's how I feel.
Just don't say anything that you can't
That's how I
say. Be
feel every
careful.
time I'm up here talking, just like that.
I know I forgot what I was going to say.
Ms. Warren, yes, ma'am.
I just lost it. No, I was going to say, until this is resolved, continue to play your hardest and go out there and do it for your coach. Okay? Do it that way. All right? Stay positive.
Okay, anyone else?
Sounds good, Val.
I try.
That was good. Let me write in a book now.
Well, if you don't want to speak, if you want to send an email, I've got an email from a couple of athletes. If you want to email any of us, please do. We'll read those immediately. Someone's got their hand up. Yes, sir.
He's a good coach. He, state your name. A little more material on his end. But you should have been there last year. When my granddaughter Kiera plays on the team that she played last year, he has come a long way between those 2 years. They played over the weekend in the tournament, and he had them in every game. They didn't win any, but he had them playing in every game. Now, the last game, we kind of took a beating, but he's a good coach, and I would recommend to keep him because he's dedicated.
I appreciate that, sir. Again, no one wants anything but that. We want to resolve this with his cooperation as quickly as possible and get on with the season and get on with life. Anyone else?
Girls, how many of you were offended by what happened? Raise your hand.
The picture. You guys offended by the picture?
Anyone offended by what happened? Because the letter said they were offended.
I appreciate that. Thank
The letter
you.
said they spoke for the team, and the letter did not speak for the team.
Right.
That's what we're saying. This is the team.
I
Majority. We got
understand.
13, there's more than majority here.
I understand what you're saying, and as I responded to someone in an email, the way the law works, the way the rules work, this won't be a matter of public support. We're not going to line you up and count how many are in favor and then how many are opposed. What we're going to do is take your word for what you believe his intentions were. We're going to listen to his explanation. We're going to make the best decision we can as quick as we can, and we will explain that to you too when that time comes. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for coming out. I appreciate your participating and your expressing your support. And as Ms. Warning said, keep playing hard, keep working. Things will work out. They do. Okay? And you don't have to stick around. You can.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good luck, girls.
When is your next game, by the way?
Tomorrow, we're at Kiski. Friday, we're home.
Friday at
Monday,
home.
we're home.
Well, everyone should come out and support our
And cheer
middle
like
school
me, that's why I like
softball team. Exactly. Friday at home. What time?
Thank you for your time.
Friday, 5:30
Friday at 5:30.
for Penhouse.
Thank you.
We have hopes to win that one, actually.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Kenny and I went to school together. We graduated in 72.
Nice.
Grade 1.
Wow.
about that?
He changed, I didn't.
All right.
He changed, I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed how much different he looked in this one. All right, we're moving on to number 4, which is our student representative.
Mr. Stevens reached out to me, and the student rep will be here after prom to provide an update for everyone.
After prom.
Okay. When's prom? May 5th or 6th.
Saturday in May.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to number 5, which is Jared Ewing and Carly Short. Talking about our fiscal year local audit, which everyone always looks forward to, I think.
Thank you very much.
Excitement.
Thank you very much.
Try to jazz it up a little if you can.
Carly Short, no relation, that we know, I love that. Also, another member of our team, Megan Crucial, she couldn't be here, she's at another school district, given that, let them enjoy their audit report also. But just thanks for having us here. We'll go over very briefly the audit report. Whenever there's a change in a business manager during the year, the audit's always interesting. It's usually just getting used to maybe how someone else did it, and you don't necessarily own the numbers. So it took a little bit longer this year to get it done, but we did get everything filed on time. We already have plans for next year, meeting earlier, getting a by client list together, just make things get a little smoother this year. But I'm glad that we were able to issue an unmodified opinion. That's the highest form of assurance we can give you. That's the thicker of the audit reports that I gave you. This is an audit that's performed in generally accepted accounting principles and our government auditing standards. The first part of it, our audit opinion, the very first paragraph, it's a new format this year, but it basically says the same thing. You don't have to look for our opinion anymore. It's the very first 2 paragraphs. An unmodified opinion basically means that it's in accordance with accounting principles. We're not recording depreciation in an unusual way. We didn't have any findings that we're concerned about. But that's the opinion we want to shoot for, and that's the opinion that we were able to issue for you. Following the audit opinion is the management's discussion analysis. This gives you a comparison of this year to last year, maybe gives a little detail as to why certain numbers increased or decreased compared to the prior year. Then we follow up with the basic financial statements. And it goes sort of from summary information to more detailed information as you move along. The first couple statements are what we call government-wide financial statements on pages 13 and 14. And this is a look at the district as a whole. We take all your funds together. We add, it's more long-term focus. We add in debt, we add in fixed assets. And we report that in government-wide financial statements. Then we move on to fund financial statements, which is sort of what you budget with your general fund, your capital reserve funds, your food service funds. And we have some reconciliation statements in there too, so you can see exactly what gets added and what gets subtracted between different types of statements. The notes of the financial statements follow on pages 22 to 50, and there really wasn't any new type of disclosure this year or change this year that I think you need to be made aware of. Pretty much the same notes that you had in the past. There are some new standards that come up. They come up with 5 or 6 every year. None of them are really material to you, but they are listed on pages 29 and 30 that are coming up in the next few years. Then there's some required supplementary information in the back. And that just goes over the pension liability, like deals with regular post-employment benefits, just some required supplementary information that we have to include that the regulators like to look at. The thinner of the reports that we gave you is the single audit, and that is required whenever you have over $750,000 of federal expenditures during the year. You're required to have a single audit, and that's more compliance-based. We do a risk assessment of the various federal programs that you're spending money on. Then we go to the guidance and we test compliance and internal controls over those programs. And there's 2 reports in there. One's on the report of internal control over financial reporting and corporate accounting standards, and one over compliance of the major programs and on compliance. If we had any findings or any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, we'd report those to you. And I mean, it's great we didn't have any of those, so that's excellent. You should be very proud of that. The schedule of expenditures of federal awards, that details out all the federal expenditures for the year. That's on pages 8 and 9. The major programs this year that we audited were IDEA, And the Esser's fund, that's right, yes, the Esser's fund, that's everybody who's getting ready. Okay, and then there's a schedule of findings and question costs. The title's a little scarier than what it is. It's really just a summary of everything. It tells you what type of opinion was issued and such. And that's basically it. I know you probably haven't had a chance to study it or anything, but if you have any questions as you're looking through it, feel free to reach out to us. We're always available, Carly, myself, or Megan, and we can meet with you and go over it.
Thank you very much.
One question. So Mike's doing an okay job? Okay, so Mike, thank you. Thanks. After having Mr. Schott, we were a little bit, yes, so, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it was very difficult timing coming in with the audit, right, when he started, I think. So, next year, I think it'll be a breeze.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
I plan on it. Just don't say yesers.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to move on to number 6, which is Mr. Sam Sharma. He's going to discuss briefly creative expressions contest related to Gandhi Day. Yes, sir?
So just a brief introduction. So Somji has been organizing the Gandhi birthday peace celebration for at least 30 years. Until last 5 years, it was based at Pitt, and now it's through CMU. And he has been inviting wonderful speakers every year, new one. And it's really a gift to our greater community that somebody like him is behind it. And we all know other contributions, Rotary and the Peace Bowl and so forth. But the Gandhi Jayanti celebration is really very special to Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, as Dr. Singh said, this particular program, Gandhi Day 23, is one in a series of programs that we do under with the organization called Ahinsa, AHINSA. It happens to be a Hindi word for non-violence, and it's an acronym for the organization. I don't have time to go into the details, but so one of the major programs or the flagship program of Ahinsa is Gandhi Day. We also celebrate Martin Luther King Day and other peace builders. This particular day, and I see the motto of our school district here. By the way, my daughter graduated here back in 1983, so I know what Gateway is all about. We want to touch upon two things: leadership and scholarship. The purpose of this program for Gandhi Day 23 creative writing contest or creative expression contest is to encourage students to learn about Gandhi and other peace builders and write about them. And so we hold a contest, as Dr. Singh said. I think it's actually 7 years that we have been doing it. Ahinsa has been around for 20 years. So amongst many other programs, this is one of the important programs that we initiated some 7 years ago. So in any case, in the capacity of another capacity as the Rotary member, much involved with the students here through the Rotary Interact program. And the Rotary Club sponsored some students to go to the World Affairs Institute along the same line, scholarship and leadership. So this particular program, I appreciate the opportunity. What we have experienced over the past few years is, last year we had about more than 300 students enrolled for the contest. We found that 2 schools, or students from 2 schools, stood out and won almost all the prizes. And when we dug further, what we found out is there were teachers who took some interest. They took some time and encouraged their students, spent some time with them to teach them, which is also our goal, to involve the teacher themselves to learn more so that Gandhi and his message is not forgotten. And that's what we want to do here, to have, and by the way, I worked with Sean Whelan and Dr. Pottinger, etc., for some of the programs. So, and I have presented here at the Gateway on Gandhi. So And I'm so glad we are here today, and Dr. Short, if you can give us some help to encourage teachers to work with the students, encourage them to enroll, it's all online, and then work with them to educate them. And I would like to see a few more gateway school students to get the awards. So that is the main purpose. All the rest of it is already provided. I don't know if there are any questions, but this is the main purpose. Ultimately, we are hoping that we'll start. And again, Dr. Short can help us there, a peace and non-violence club in the school district, in the school. So we have periodic discussions among students of building peace and non-violence in the years to come, so that they will be the future leaders for what we want to do. Can I answer any questions? I didn't know I was that perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
When does the contest take place?
That's all date, I think.
The program will be held on 8th of Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. How many of you know what's his birthday? 2nd of October. How many of you know that 2nd of October was declared by United Nations as the International Day of Nonviolence? So every year this program is held in the first Sunday in October, give or take, whichever suits the main keynote speaker. This year it will be on 8th of October. But the deadline for submission of creative, which includes two things, essays or art, and we display the art for people to see and rate it, things like that. I believe the deadline for that is 10th of September.
It's on there.
Okay.
What's the age group?
There are 3 categories.
Go to next slide.
Yeah, let's take the behind the podium.
Okay, fine. Go on, please.
We can't see anything.
6 to 8, 9
Honestly, I personally don't know those details.
Yeah. So it's like 3 to 5 and 6 to 8.
There are 3 categories.
Yeah.
We have actually added this younger group also. So catch them young. That is the idea.
Do they have to be affiliated with the school?
The question is, a student has to come from school and it can be non-school student. I don't know if there are non-school students, but.
No, these are school students.
Well, I mean, if you have an organization like Girl Scouts, could, do they?
There might be other ways to accommodate them, but this particular contest is for school students.
Well, they're in school, but can they, okay, I'll call you.
Our goal is to encourage to participate. So we don't want to throw up barriers, we want to remove barriers.
Yeah.
That is our goal. So if we can work with you, we'll be more than happy to.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, do we have any comments from residents on agenda items? Thank you, sir. Good evening, Tom. Good evening. All right, we're gonna move on. Oh, we do have someone getting, I'm sorry, Jeanette, I didn't see anything else.
Jeanette Beagle, Minerva resident. I did have a question going back to section F, with the pole starting blocks. Is that something that goes out for bid? Like, did we get multiple estimates from any other companies, or is this just the one company? Because I was trying to, research and see, because it's coming down to like $7,300 a block. And I thought it said they were retrofitted, so then I'm like, what do we mean by retrofitted? Are we just using the stakes that we have on the, just a little further explanation as to how that came to be?
There's a specific item, and B&R Poles is on CoStars, which is a consortium that we utilize as Gateway School District, so we don't have to go out and bid it. And then when it comes to a specialty product like a B&R Poles does offer it, and there's no one else like in here that even offers something similar to that.
Okay, that was just, wasn't sure how that went about, and also.
And they have a good reputation. We've been dealing with them for years, but they're part of the consortium. But you're right, anything over 25 has to go out for bid unless we can go through the consortium for something like that.
Okay, that was my question, and just asking that the board vote yay on replacing those blocks, because they are a little bit of a liability. There are teams that come in, my children swim with the Marlins, and you've got people drying blocks off so you're not slipping and falling. So it is a well overdue and well needed upgrade to the pool area.
The retrofit portion of it is when you take blocks and you put them on the pool deck, they need to go down.
Yeah, that's what I figured the retrofit was, how they were moored in.
They're already in there for the existing blocks, so rather than dig everything up, put new distances in for the holes, we're just reusing the old holes and then retrofitting the pipes to match that, so the blocks sit right in the existing holes.
Thank you. That's what I figured it was, but just I'd ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you. Anyone else with, any other residents with agenda items?
We do have one person for non-agenda. Yes, okay.
Nope. All right, so let's move on. Any other board member discussion items? Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up on this morning?
I just wanted to know if the survey was sent out about the ROTC.
The survey did go out about the ROTC. And I put that in the board report. I believe there were 7 students that had an interest in that. Also reached out to Mr. Stevens to see if we could set up a table within the cafeteria to have a representative come in. The representative was a little leery of coming in. However, he did make himself available to request the board with any questions. So I will be setting that up for Mr. Stevens.
Okay, and one other, did anything happen with the pre-K, with the applications? Did anything sent out?
We need it internally. The registration application was sent out. We already have 4 or 5 people apply. However, the grant is due next week. So we kind of have 2 things rolling at the same time.
That's it. I was just wondering if, you know.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right.
Some families involved.
Good. Sounds good. All right, thank you. That's it.
No other board members? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Mungo.
Yeah, I would like to introduce the idea of doing a huge back-to-school event with the community, maybe at a park, just highlighting the schools, the different clubs that we have. Sometimes parents don't always know what's going on, and to have an event that involves not only the school but the community, highlighting the school, highlighting the children, and introducing us as board members, introducing ourselves to the community, but having that a park. I know, like in the city of Pittsburgh, I participated in those type of events in the past where they've given away backpacks, free haircuts. You know, I think it might be something we might want to consider since we're a community.
I've already considered and I'm in favor. So let's start the process. We'll talk about how to do it and how to fund it and all those kind of things. But organizations want to be involved or should be involved. Okay. And Ms. Mungo, you're going to be in charge of that. Excellent. You're an organizer and a leader, so this is perfect. Excellent. All right, anyone else? Nope. All right, let's get to the meat of this stuff. Section A, minutes of the previous meeting. We have the study session from March 14th and a regular board meeting from March 21st. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anyone have any questions on the minutes? Nope. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Well, we've all come to here.
Section B, financial reports.
Sure. Result that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves sections B1, list of bills, B2, financial reports, and B3, budget transfers as listed in section B at the Tuesday, April 18, 2023 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on this motion?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Under budget transfers, what did we end up doing with the kids who were going to?
We transfer $5,000.
I didn't see,
And then-
I only see 850.
They got money. The latest update I had.
Mike, let me interrupt. Finish your question,
Yeah.
because I'm not sure that people know what you're talking about.
Oh,
'Cause he started talking before you finished.
that's all. So, well, the people don't know, we were talking about giving money to the robotics team to go
Right.
away because they qualified for nationals and they had a GoFundMe account. We approved 5,000. I see the $850 budget transfer, so I was thinking maybe they got all the money they needed. So I'm asking what's the status of how much money did we have to give them?
But so far, we gave them the $5,000, but the money they raised from the GoFundMe, and then a parent donated $2,500, Google donated $2,500.
Great.
And
Voted on at the last meeting to transfer the money for them at the study session.
we transferred the money, and Nicole used the school district credit card for Sean to make his arrangements for the flights and for the rooms.
So what are they up to in GoFundMe? Did you have that?
Something like 1,000.
About $12,000.
And we gave them 5, that's pretty good.
93 donors for $12,635. That is phenomenal from the community. It's wonderful.
Great.
That's why.
How long can people donate? Do you have any ideas or a cutoff or?
Well, they just went out. They just flew out this morning.
So people can keep going
Keep
to
donating,
help them
yeah.
out.
Yeah, they
So
just flew out
don't
this
think
morning.
that you're done donating.
Right.
The event started, but you still help out. It's a wonderful, remarkable achievement for those kids and the folks that are leading them. So, if you can, help out. Anything else, Ms. Cerucci?
No.
Anyone else have anything else?
Section D, personnel agenda.
We need a vote on that.
I'm sorry. So we have no further questions. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Moving right along. Section D, personnel agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Short. We have 7 leave of absences as listed on this document, along with 1 transfer and 3 recommendations for employment. Additionally, various supplemental contracts as listed, along with event workers and volunteers on my 4th page of documentation.
All right. Any questions? Anyone have any questions for Ms. Jessel?
Motion. We need a motion and a
I make
second.
a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion made and approved. Now, let's hear your question.
You have for the softball coach to rescind it, and then you're issuing it again?
So that's for, there's 2 school years being accounted for in there. The issuance is for the current school year.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just letting everybody know, I'm going to not vote for my brother Joe Ritter as an assistant varsity track coach because he's related to my mother. I'm going to abstain from that. He's a good coach.
Any other questions before we get to the vote?
Sure. Mrs. Cerucci.
Aye.
Mrs. Delaney. Aye. Mrs. McBride. Aye. Ms. Mungo.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye on everything except for 3A, Joseph Ritter. I'm going to abstain on that one.
Dr. Singh.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning. Aye. And Mr. Boba.
Aye. All righty. Section E, conferences, Dr. Chapin.
We have 1 conference for approval. It is the conference for Sean McMahon and 10 students, 3 chaperones to the World Championship for first robotics competition.
So moved.
Do we already approve this?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Do we have any more questions about robotics? Yes.
If we don't approve this, what are we going to do? Because they're already gone.
It's just,
I know,
dotting
it's
your
just.
i's, crossing your t's, because we
I
kind
know
of
that.
approved it last
I
week.
know that. I'm just making that. They left 4 o'clock this morning.
I'm opposed.
Did they go southwest? Because they
I
have
know.
lights that were down.
We want the robotics kids, so they'll figure it out.
I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, so how did $29,000 add up? Where does it come from?
$12,000 in the GoFundMe page, $5,000 from a parent, $2,500 from Google, and then the school district donated $5,000
Okay,
on top of all that.
thank you.
Excellent. Any other questions?
Did they end up getting the Airbnb, or? I was just curious.
I have no idea. Everything happened so fast. It's just, thank God we were able to get all the arrangements made when we did.
Yeah, nice.
Any other questions? Nope. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Moving on.
Section F, Administrative Report, Elementary Education, Dr. Rossi.
Item number 1 is approve the TSI plan for University Park Elementary School.
Item 2, approve the display of Ready, Set, Go, newcomers kit from Continental Press for the ESL program.
Item 3, acceptance of district donations received during the 22-23 fiscal year, accepted. Item A, donor community of Monroeville Pitcairn, the amount of $4,300. The recipients were 17 families that were victims of the Cambridge fire. It's for their basic needs, and it helped students in all our district buildings. Item B, Bank of New York Mellon, $1,200 for students at Mosside Middle School for supplies. Item number 4, approval of renewals and premium payments for the district insurance coverage policies for the 2023-2024 fiscal year as listed. Item number 5, awarded the bids for school supplies for the 2023-2024 fiscal year as listed in Exhibit C. Item 6, approval to advertise for bids for the cafeteria fund, bread and bakery vendor products for the 2023-2024 fiscal year as listed in Exhibit D. Item number 7, approved to advertise for bids for the cafeteria fund, 2 new coffee ovens for Ramsey Elementary School, as listed in Exhibit D. Item number 8, award the pole vault landing area pad with cover and the high jump pit to Phillips Sports. Note the funds are coming from the 2023-2024 year school budget, as listed in Exhibit E. Item 9, award the replacement of the starter blocks for the swimming pool at the sports complex to B&R Pools and Swim Shop Incorporated, as listed in Exhibit F. Again, funds coming from the 2023-24 year school budget. Item number 10, award the replacement of the scorer's table at the Gateway High School sports complex to either A, OES, or B, Watchfire. Item number 11, E-rate purchases as listed in Exhibit G 1 through 6, with the funds for 22-23 or 2023-2024 school year. I just summarized it real quick. The total cost for everything listed in items 1 through 6 is $1,062,939. Money coming from E-rate of $543,348. The total cost of Gateway School District is going to be $519,591, which consists of $216,244 coming from the middle school construction, which already has been budgeted for. So coming out of next year's general fund, if approval, will be $303,347. Item 12, student technology items for 2023-2024 as listed in Exhibit G 7 through 9. Item number 13. Guess if we buy all this stuff, we should buy clocks and know what time it is, right? Sorry, I'm getting off track. Item number 13, Gateway Middle School new clock. Approval of the hallway clocks for Gateway Middle School in the amount of $24,119 as listed in Exhibit H. Item 14, updated procurement plan child nutrition program as listed in Exhibit I. Item 15, notice of adoption of policies, procedures, and use of funds by the school district of the Allegheny Interim Unit Number 3, IDA Part B for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Item 16, IDA Part B, use of funds sub-grant agreement with the Allegheny Interim Unit Number 3 for the 2023-2024 fiscal year.
That motion has been made and seconded. Let the questions begin.
Excuse me.
Item 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Item 10, could we vote on that separately just because?
There's two options.
Just gonna ask. I was gonna ask about how we did, what's
Well, I
happening.
assume that we're gonna have a question about this.
Yeah, unless we talk about it right now.
Hey, Paul, are you on?
We either pick A or B.
I
am.
Could you discuss the differences of the scores tables?
It's kind of like of a Coke and Pepsi. I think we're looking at two compatible or similar systems, apples for apples, in terms of things like pitch rate and, which discerns how much, what clarity of the video display. We have had a lot of good experience with OES. They came in with a very reasonable bid for some very high quality equipment. We also spoke with the Watchfire folks because, again, lately they've done a couple projects in the area and sort of come on the scene. So we wanted to make sure that we did our background work and examined both. We feel that both are really good proposals, but clearly one is cheaper, and I think we're getting the same product. So I'm very comfortable recommending the OES package based on our history with them, as well as the product that they can provide for us.
That's good, because that's the cheaper one.
Yeah, okay, Charles,
Right.
we talked yesterday. The length of this table goes from, go ahead, from one.
It's essentially, it'll essentially go from just past each bench area team for our various sports in that complex. It is 3 different 10-foot sections that can be used all together with a combined unified 30-foot video display, or it can be used for a smaller event where maybe no media is present for maybe just one of the tables or 2. The current one we have is 14 feet and again about 20 years old with no video capability. What we'll be getting is the ability to seat all the media with chargers and outlets for all kind of laptops or whatever they're using at the event, at real scorers table settings, as well as all of our game worker personnel, like our scorekeepers and our clock operators and all that good stuff. So I think it is a really important and overdue upgrade to our fantastic sports complex.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, well, let me ask you a question that residents would ask. You're talking about tables 30 feet long, right? The proposal? So if you had 30 feet of these tables right here lined up without any video, anything, why doesn't that work? Why isn't that good enough?
Well, I mean, I think you can get by with really anything. You can set up, a folding table up and have your workers work on it, and hopefully have their chart apparatuses and whatnot. But as we continue to upgrade technology in all aspects of our school, this is compatible with scoreboards and basically displays like we have in other sports venues, the scoreboard that we have in the football stadium. And again, it allows us advertising, it allows us recognition of students and teachers and anything else we want to put on that board, as well as really looking the part for the level of competition that we have in that facility, both our own and those that we host.
And how long do you think one of these tables, the OES table, how long do you expect it to last? What's the lifespan of this table?
I think they're comfortable giving us at least a 10 to 12 year warranty because they're indoor. They don't really get, in the mid, they get hit a lot or have issues with any sort of weather or anything like that. I think, again, our old table, which clearly was less technologically advanced, lasted us for a long 20 years. So I would hope that this whole group is not around the next time we're looking at replacing this board. I don't mean not around on planet Earth.
I'm not sure how to interpret that. So one last question.
Yeah.
In terms of actual repair, it is far more complex. A thrown basketball hits it, something happens to it. So in part of this warranty, they come and fix it immediately, or they bring it in the shop, or what happens?
That may be the very best thing, and I'm remiss if I didn't, do a better job of explaining that with our relationship with OES and Doug Rezatar. They have been beyond what we could have expected in terms of any response with any of our issues, with any scoreboard in the stadium, with the baseball, softball stuff. They are their customer service has been superior. So again, same day, next day, Doug is local. They have somebody on site. In the midst of a game, we've had them come out when we had a problem with the scoreboard. So I'm very confident in that response from them, repair-wise.
Would
Very
this,
good. Any
would
other
this be
questions?
similar to what we would see at a professional basketball game?
It would. They actually, OES has the G League test center for all their video stuff, and they have several professional arenas in both the United States and Canada, along with many colleges and high schools. So we're looking at a very high level, very top of the line at I believe for what we're getting a price that's reasonable.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
On number 11, the E-rate purchases and stuff, that last one, the fiber cabling racks district-wide, what? For $260,000. What?
Micah?
Yes, I can explain that. So there's a couple different projects bundled in there. One of them is replacing all the older multi-mode fiber through the district with single-mode fiber. The multi-mode fiber that's currently deployed was installed in approximately the year 2000, and it has a maximum rate of 1 gigabit a second. So in order to upgrade our network, we have to replace that fiber with a newer standard, and single mode is a standard that will let us scale as high as we want. The other parts of it are equipment racks for a lot of our wiring closets. Those areas were flagged by the state police walkthroughs as places that we should be securing and locking to protect our core network for security cameras and emergency communications. And then for the elementary schools, it replaces the wiring in several classrooms. So we can move the phones from line of sight from the doorway off to the side. So a teacher could be on the phone without being seen from the hallway. It also allows us to mount security cameras through the hallways in Evergreen and University Park.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm looking at that. You're replacing the cabling for Evergreen and University Park. Ramsey and CSE, they don't need replacing.
Parts do, however, those buildings are drop ceiling. So in the case of Ramsey, the maintenance department actually was able to rerun all the cables themselves fairly easily. In the case of University Park and Evergreen, there's asbestos. So we either have to go underground or have surface mount wire mold run through the whole building. So it's a much more labor intense process, which is why we're bringing in a company to do it.
No question.
Any other questions? Let's have a roll call for this, please, Bonnie.
Okay. Before you do that, do we have to?
Decide on A or B.
Yeah, do you want to
Are
just
we
say a
doing that
motion to
separate?
approve all items except number 10?
Okay.
Is that your motion?
Yes. I need a second.
Second.
Any questions on that? Everyone understand that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Now we have 10.
Motion to approve item 10A, OES score table.
Second.
Is that a question or a second? No, she seconded.
Excellent.
Say it with
Yeah.
Val.
Well, you just said
Motion to approve,
10A.
try it again. Motion to approve item 10A.
Second.
It's much better.
All right, any questions on that? Nope. None? All righty.
Stressful.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Killing it here.
Easy.
Way to go. All right, now let's get back to the whole rest of the package. Do the
it.
roll call, please, Bonnie.
So roll call for 10, number 10, is that correct?
No,
we just
everything
approved that
but
with our all
10.
in favor.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Ten.
section A.
10A.
You did
Oh, I
you
see,
did all
that
in
was
favor for
10A,
both.
okay.
Everything?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
done.
you
We
did
got
it.
it all done, Bonnie, forget that.
He did all in favor for both.
Okay.
He already forgets.
All right.
Time ago.
Let's move on to
Time ago.
section G, resolutions presented by board members. Do we have any?
Nope.
We have comments from residents on non-agenda items. One gentleman, Brian Baccavalli. Yes.
There is Brian.
That's fine, yes, that's
Right
right.
up here, sir. Tell us what's on your mind.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Like you said, my name is Brian Butticavoli, and my daughter is Peyton Butticavoli, and she's in 6th grade. And I work for PA American Water, and I was at work one day, and I get a call from her in which she's in tears on the bus coming home, and it sounds like a zoo, a feeding time, in the back of the call, and as you can understand, being a father, it's like upsetting. It's infuriating. You don't know what's going on, and if your daughter's in danger physically, what exactly is going on? So tonight I rise in support of my daughter. I wrote 5 simple points. That was number 1. Number 2, I want to thank the district for their support in this matter. When I was going home, I stopped off and spoke with Mr. Jack, and I appreciate his time, taking the time to speak with me on a Friday, like at the end of the day. So I appreciate that. And number 3, the importance of having an effective anti-bullying policy. The accountability, the discipline that comes from that accountability, the counseling that is part of the healing process, and the messaging, which I leave up to you. You guys, doctorates, you know how to package that messaging in an effective manner. And number 4, the lack of a clear transportation code of conduct. I'm not saying there is or there isn't. I'm just saying from a parent's standpoint, I couldn't find one. I was, obviously looking for one to see what that might entail. Is the bus driver, because he had to stop, does he have to write a report? That type of thing. And harassment and unruly behavior on a bus puts everybody on that bus in danger. And I understand that bus driver had to stop to afford her a seat. And number 5, I asked her just yesterday, I said, how are things at school? Are the bullies doing anything at you at school? Because she's taking alternative, like a van, alternative transportation, which again, I thank Mr. Jack for setting up. And she said something interesting, that the bullies don't really do anything at school because they know that they get in trouble. So cowardice is part of, goes hand in hand with bullying. And I know you guys, this is part of your part and parcel as school administrators. And I just wanted to come tonight and as just a father and say, I support whatever you do to try and combat this. Okay?
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Your message. And also taking out some notes here. We think that we could do some things a little bit better.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And I think everyone's disgusted by bullying and any child having to be subject to it. When we discuss this, you always hear from people of every vintage, bullying's been going on forever, as if that's some kind of explanation or suggest acceptance. Every year there's more programs to teach about anti-bullying. But you've made a very good point. What you've suggested is when the kids are in school where they know they're being observed and there are consequences, bullying is minimized. Our bus drivers have a crazy hard job. We actually tried bus monitors on the buses to try to get a handle on it. One of our board members would be perfectly happy if we got rid of school buses, because I wish we had some simple way to transfer the behavior into school onto the bus. We'll keep working. One of the obvious solutions, and we discussed this after your daughter's issue, is if kids misbehave on the bus, you take away their bus privileges. The problem, of course, is not all families have the ability to get their kid to school. So everyone likes simple answers. Unfortunately, they are often elusive and usually not effective. But we'll be working on it, and tell your daughter we're thinking of her too and doing everything we can.
We've been talking about some new ways of discipline, and we've been talking about implementing a community service and school service as punishments for behaviors to try to, diminish and make a punishment that kids don't like to do. And that's moving forward. So
Yes,
we're
that's a
trying to
very
come
good
up with some new ideas that are illegal.
Even the idea that's been suggested in the past about, you ever wonder why school buses do not have seatbelts? Think about that for a moment. If our school buses had seatbelts and kids were assigned a seat and they were buckled in, that does eliminate a lot of the behaviors. Yeah.
So would it be all right if we invited Mr. Bowley to come back a month from now at our next school board meeting and let us know whether things have stayed the same, gotten better, or got worse?
You could do that if you'd like. If you'd like to email us, I think we emailed before. If you'd like to, however it works for you, we'd appreciate that.
Because we acknowledge that we try to fix things and we don't know what the outcome was. And also that there are some school buses that are well-behaved and some that aren't well-behaved. And we just can't implement a policy that seems to map to all of the school buses. So we have to target the ones that are still troublesome and find a way to fix it. But, we need input from folks like you to help us do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has happened before, so it's an ongoing problem, and I want to say, if the kids were thrown off the bus, maybe they would think about what they say to another student, But the bigger picture is here that this behavior puts everybody on that bus in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's she's taking the van, right? So the harassment has lessened, right? So that's good as far as I'm concerned. But what about the people that are still on the bus?
That's right. What about all the other kids?
What about the people that might not have a loving parent at home and they're dealing with bullying, and they get home and they don't have anybody to support them? You know what I mean? So it's like, all I'm saying is that bullying has a lot of different facets that just need to be addressed thoughtfully, carefully, reasonably. And I'll be happy to speak or just be there and lend my support, because the stories that we hear where bullying gets out of hand nationwide are just not acceptable. The kids are not emotionally adept to deal with what's going on. They immediately internalize what's happening. So the first thing that she asks is, "What's wrong with me?" When she gets home, "What's wrong with me? Why don't the kids like me?" I said, "Honey, it doesn't have to do with you. It has to do with their behavior. You're a great person, but kids, they just don't know how to deal with it, and that's what they do. And we can't allow that to happen, because if they don't get that positive reinforcement, it's like a snowball going downhill. There's nothing to stop it, and then they just feel worse and worse and worse, and then you don't know where it goes. I'm not saying that's going to happen with my daughter, which I don't think it is. I think I raised her good enough to know the difference, and I'm there for her. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, try to keep that in mind. It's a bigger picture issue than just what I'm running into. And I'm sure you all have had your own stories about trying to deal with this too. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
As you've always heard, hurting people hurt people. And unfortunately, as you said, a lot of these students that are initiating the bullying, we don't know their situation, which is unfortunate. They need help to.
They need help. They need mercy, right? But you have to be able to target it. You have to be able to find out who's doing what. And I wasn't able to review that video. I didn't see any kind of report from the driver. These are all like issues that I have to deal with. I just hope that something is going to happen positive.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming.
Why don't school buses have seatbelts? Compartmentalization. It's the way they're designed. It's the way a school bus is designed, and it's just like a little compartment that each kid is in, and the padding, they say is supposed to be safer. So, and then seatbelts can be used as a weapon. I've heard that, where kids will take it, not wear them, swing them around, hit other kids with them.
And also, the buses are going to the double straps that are connected.
Well, to the different size students that sit in the seats. In other words, you can get 3 little kids or 1 big kid in the same seat. So how do you adjust the seatbelt situation?
Elementary through high school kids riding the same buses.
Depends on the fire in front. There's only one bus driver. How do you get them all out? It seems unsafe to not have seatbelts, but
It's technically supposed to be safer without them.
yeah.
But the alternative,
So let's just start with like the students in the seat to begin with, and not having to stand, while the bus is in motion.
Good place to start. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other residents on non-agenda items?
I'd just like to say something really quick. My name is Colleen Cardamone, and I was here back in March. And I just wanted to basically give you guys some updates on the Greater Gator Neighbor Program. And I've made some increased connections. I'm going to a program on Thursday with the Peel Center. And there will be different presenters. A woman who basically owns her own company that promotes self-love. And this gentleman gave a perfect example about why our program is so important and necessary in our school. Whenever I met with Richard Garland, who is a professor at the University of Pittsburgh for the Department of Public Health, he advised how Gateway, again, can stay in front of some of the issues that are going on. We have a transient population, which poses some threats for us. We have that identified, and we can take action on that. These children, as he said, some of these kids don't have that person to go home to. They can't be uplifted. We all have an emotional bandwidth of resiliency. Some of us have a greater resiliency than others do. Whenever you don't have that support system at home, it's hard to pull yourself up. And these bullies are bullying other kids, not because they want to in 99% of the cases, but because they're going through some trauma or hurt at home. And we need to address it because these 50 or 60 kids in our middle school, I don't know about the high school, we haven't, because the middle school is our pilot program, but these 50 or 60 children that are bouncing around like bouncy balls for attention, when they don't get the positive attention at home or otherwise, then they're going to get the attention any way they can. So basically, I was discussing also with another stakeholder the model of the trauma-informed care, which will help us deal with these students and help them as best as possible and give them the tools to be resilient and to feel uplifted and empowered. So this is, again, a reason why we are trying to create this toolkit and create this program. We have also made more connections with Outer Limits, Big Rigs, Located Lanes. We're waiting to hear back from them. Grazie Smoothies, the local Monroeville McDonald's, and our most recent board member is Dr. Carasso. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with him, but he is a child psychologist in Monroeville, in the building right across from what will be the new middle school. So he has agreed to help us build the toolkit for the staff, the students, and the families, because he believes in the pillar of upliftment. So I just wanted to let you guys know. And also Gab and Josh, they have come to our district before to present. Probably, they said it's been some years, but they also have the message of anti-bullying, empowerment. Their vision and their mission aligns with that of the Greater Gator Neighbor. So I just wanted to let you guys know that those are some of the new connections that we've made with this program to move forward and help make the district be the best that it can be. And I would like, if there's any places or anybody that you guys feel would be helpful, again, I welcome any type of feedback or names or businesses that you feel might be interested in helping out this program.
Thank you. We will think about that, and you and I will be talking next week.
Yes, well, you said tomorrow. I'm gonna reach out to you tomorrow.
Right, actually, I already sent a text off to get it scheduled.
Perfect,
All
okay,
right,
that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Colleen.
Anyone else with non-agenda items? Any other residents? Nope. Let's move on to our superintendent's report.
May is an exciting month at Gateway. A number of events correspond to our graduating class this year. Prom is the first week, I believe, in May. We hope that all of our students have a safe and wonderful experience. Also, we do have our Keystone and PSSA assessments upcoming. Senior dinner dance, and the culmination of our graduating class, not only at Gateway, but Forbes Road, which we are hosting this year. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Let's go around the table. Dr. Rossi.
Nothing further.
Hey, is anyone up there? How about Bob Brown? You up there, Bob Brown? You got anything? How about Heather? How about anyone? Nope. Dr. Jakey? Nothing.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Mike, tell us about that tie. Beauty.
I figured it'd be appropriate with the auditors coming today.
Really wonderful. Andrea?
I look forward to working with Miss Mongo regarding the back to school party.
Excellent. There you go. Wonderful.
Volunteer already.
Wonderful.
I like it.
Nice sense of community. We need more of that.
Excellent. Okay, let's just keep going. Mr. Ritter.
Sure. Today was PSBA Advocacy Day, and I hosted a Zoom meeting with Representative Brandon Markozik and a longtime school board member from Plum. I mentioned the difficulty that school districts have in transporting students to locations outside the district and wondered together with Brandon and this other school board member if something could be done about that. In other words, parents have the ability to request a child to be taken far away. The schools are required to transport them far away. That takes away the number of drivers that are available to drive the school buses, and it's very expensive. So the question is, where do we strike the balance? Do we fall back to where we were 30, 40, 50 years ago when the students stayed pretty much local to the school district? Or do we err on the side of allowing the parents to select a school that meets their child's peculiar needs? And if so, what's the real cost of that? What's the difference between what we did years ago and the cost of doing it the way we do it today? And so how do you even get those type numbers? Is there a way for an auditor or a sociologist or a demographer to understand what the true cost of that is, and then try to find a way either legislatively or through policy or some other method to help school districts reduce the cost of sending these students to faraway places? So Brandon scratched his head, I scratched my head. There's no easy answer to this, but there should be a way to ask the question in an even better, more cogent way, so that school boards like us can understand what the true cost of transporting these students are. So that was one, head scratcher. PSBA also offered the typical nominal topics: increased consideration for mental health, school safety, a fair monetary approach to charter schools. I also advocated for a more conducive way to evaluate the swatting alerts that some schools get. This is a really, really, really tough question as well. So how do we evaluate what used to be when a student would pull a fire alarm and the fire truck would show up and the kids would get 15 minutes off to run off, and then they would go back in. So the swatting incidents that are occurring are a lot different. So we need some novel ways to evaluate what we can and should not do with that. So Brandon also scratched his head and said, that's a good issue to chew on, because school districts need that ability to do it. The school board member from Plum said that's a federal issue. I know she's right, but I don't like that, because the schools are part of the federal system, that is, we're in the United States. And whatever the feds can and should be able to do should cascade down to us. And how can we receive some of that help from the feds? What questions should we ask them? What demands should we put on the feds to put schools in a better position to deal with this swatting thing? And then the last thing was means evaluating the real cost of possible statewide free lunches at schools. For example, students already receive free books, so to speak, free desks, free buses, free teachers. Why not free lunches?
Nothing is free, we know that, John.
Right. So of course, I was about to say that. There's no such thing as free. However, we have free books and free teachers and free desks right now because of the bulk purchasing power that can be leveraged for some of these things. If that's a good thing, then why not free lunches? Because most students need to eat at school. So if it's going to be a cost savings, then we need to know what's the what is the true cost and how much would it save, what would work and what wouldn't work. So that's another good question, because a lot of people are thinking about how best to serve the kids who need food in school and not have kids fall through the cracks. So that was another good thing. And I think that's all we talked about today, but that was a couple good discussions.
Very good as always, Mr. Ritter. Thank you.
I just want to mention that for those that may not know, Saturday is Earth Day. So hopefully many of you are going to share that with your friends, your family, do something to help save our planet. I'm going to be planting trees with my sorority, and so hopefully you do share the fact that we want to keep our planet for the future generations and do something on Earth Day. That's a day they're also hoping that people are going to volunteer and do a project. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Warning.
Just a couple things. I just want to wish our robotics team, they left this morning, as I said, at 4. This morning they'd met here and took off in the light blue yonder. And hopefully they're down there and they will do well. And also good luck to the Sea Perch team. They will be going next month down to the University of Maryland, and to Mr. Whalen and his National History Day kids that will be going to the University of Scranton on the 22nd and 23rd. Wish them the best of luck. This is also National Volunteer Month, and I just want to... I was going to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Okay. I just want to thank all the people that volunteer throughout the district, especially the ones that help me with the backpacks and the market and everything. But we really appreciate all the volunteers. We really need them.
And Miss Warning is Miss Volunteer.
Oh, just don't stop. But Thursday, for some reason I'm thinking this is Wednesday. Thursday at UP, they're having their science fair from 6 to 8. Stop up, take a look at it. And also Thursday, it's another big day on my calendar, is we're opening bids for the roof at Sunrise. So hopefully, this has been going on for years, that we have somebody that meets the needs what we need, so. Okay. But, and also, April 30th, Sunrise School will be having a superhero 5K walk at Monroeville Park. All you have to do is Google Sunrise School, and you can read all about it and donate or whatever. It's a great cause for the school. And next month, May 17th, Wednesday, we'll be having our meeting because the 16th is Election Day. Make sure everybody gets out there. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Warning.
Thank you.
Excellent information.
I try. Oh, and this is Autism Month, so that's why my blue shirt on too. Sorry.
I have nothing except a suggestion for Representative Markosik for you to take back to him regarding the transporting of students to other schools. Have him introduce a bill to reduce the radius, right, Bonnie?
10 miles.
Just reduce the radius. Just reduce it.
So we were thinking about that.
5 would be Bonnie's ideal number, right?
In other words, test it in
No.
a rural district and in an urban district, and
reduce it.
then we would have some feedback whether it worked or didn't work. And then if it worked, that could be applied to all the other school districts as they saw fit. But you just can't.
How do you
roll out-
define if it works, though? You're trying to save cost.
I know.
If you reduce the radius, the cost will go down. For people who don't know what we're talking about, or if they make the distance to the building instead of as the farthest distance. Right now, we have to travel 9 miles, right?
10 miles.
10 miles from the farthest edge of our district. Right. I mean, even if it was from the school, it would be a little bit of a cost savings, because for us, it's as it.
Nearest public highway.
10 minutes, 10 miles from our farthest border is very far. What's the farthest roughly we're transporting kids to?
Well, are we required to transport special ed kids outside of that radius? But there are private schools, charter schools, and non-publics that are 9.999, and we go there.
Right.
We're at 63 schools right now, which is very difficult. We have some charter schools, we have one child. You know, it's hard. You have to be everywhere at the same drop-off time and the same dismissal time, and that's why our transportation.
I'd say any reduction in the radius would be beneficial.
Would be very beneficial.
Let them figure it out.
John, would it take like a resolution? What would it take to get this like?
That's in the school code.
Somebody would have to introduce a bill. Yeah, somebody would have to introduce a bill in the legislature. It'd have to get through committee. It would have to pass the House and the Senate, and then the governor would have to sign it all. It's a little history lesson.
You did great.
Not history, a little civics lesson.
Well, thank you. Ms. Cerrucci for
State
school
government.
Are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Mungo?
Nothing.
Thank you. Dr. Singh?
So, many things I want to say, but I'll say only one. So, Pittsburgh Poetry Society is meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Monroe Public Library.
What society?
Although I'm not one of the listed poets, but I think I have some weight being home turf, and I'll read one poem.
He's gonna read a poem.
Just one.
Well, I'll carry a book which has 3 poems.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Singh. Ms. McBride?
I just want to say about Robin's back to school fair. We briefly talked about that. I know other districts do it, and I look forward to collaborating with everybody and seeing what we can do to,
Positive, something positive.
yeah. Pittsburgh, Dr. G, Pittsburgh Public Schools.
It used to.
Yeah, they do a great back-to-school event. They partner with WAMO. They have all the community members there. It's different vendors. They do haircuts for students. It's an excellent event.
They've been doing that for years. In
Yeah.
fact, when they had the South Tech Open, remember, then they were cutting the kids' hair, and the girls were doing beauty.
And cosmetology from Perry High School would do some things, do nails and things. It was a good event.
Someone in the community mentioned us being on the initial team to get this started out. Send us an email.
So we just enlisted Dr. Chakey as well, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I had already thought about it.
Volunteer. Robin, Dr. Chakey.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Yeah, could you describe the artwork that you see over there?
I certainly cannot.
Motion to adjourn.
Robin, you're closest. What do you see?
It's beautiful. I mean, it looks like covers of magazines. I'm not sure. It's just different designs from different grade levels, 10th grade, 12th grade. There's no title for the bulletin board, but it's
lovely.
Very professional work.
Our gateway students.
Yes.
Wow.
9th grade, 10th grade, 12, 11, 12, 10, 9, 10, 12, and 11. It's good stuff.
What's the name of this bulletin board?
There's no name.
Jack.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Jack, is he done?
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I hear a motion to adjourn. It's been made by Mary Beth. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you all.
All right, thanks for coming.